We are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters. And this man is wanted. He's wanted to return to Sportswire Radio. And boy, does he have a lot to say, ladies and gentlemen, here, because he makes his long-awaited return to this platform for the first time in nearly 5 months. He'll talk about this guy who on Sunday talked about, well, he's not a deathmatch hardcore wrestler, but maybe he wants a match with him. But there might be a reason why. We'll talk about that big horse who may be that big redneck, but now after this man's history with that man, they're going to be teaming up, and then they're going to be teaming up with a guy that, well, he's a part of the establishment, but then is also going to be teaming up with his arch nemesis in HCW. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll also talk about that Extreme Invasion show with that Rumble coming up where maybe he'll see some of his brothers from the 716 who are wanted and now wanted in the Lone Star State. After all, the irony of this, it was a year ago around this time when this man came onto this platform and talked about going to the Lone Star State and going here for just business. Well, you know what? Not only has he done that, he's taken up residency here. And boy, he's done a lot better job than any other New Yorker that's come here and said, it's too hot. I got to go back somewhere else. No, he'll talk about that. He'll also talk about a match coming up here in a few weeks with a hardcore deathmatch OG, that this guy is going to show him and continue to show the world why he's unkillable. We'll also talk about that guy who, well, let's just say was taken to the extreme, Nino Extremo, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get into that Rumble and what would it mean to this man to win that SSW Rumble, and especially with his brothers coming here, many of them returning to the ring for the first time in more than half a year. Plus, I'm going to give this man something. Boy, I'm excited about this one. You should be too. Ladies and gentlemen, there is plenty to get into, but I must give the hometown hero that long-awaited introduction here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and all wrestling matters. So hit that! Without further ado, here on the Sports Report, sports show. He may call himself the king of the Western New York deathmatch, but truthfully, he's the king of all of New York in death matches. He was once upon a time unwanted. Now he's wanted, and now he's unkillable. His name is simply put, Mickey Vargas. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm living lavish. That never gets old. Let me tell you that. That never gets old. I'll never get sick of it.
I gotta make you laugh. Well, speaking of you, I got sick of it real quick. You'll never believe. I obviously, I'm sure people see by now. I do these interviews in the rock world, and I get these big time rock music. You being really big in the hardcore and deathmatch world, and in the rock world, believe that you would think, oh, the intro it would really be what they would want, but actually, no. The people that tune in, because it's a totally different audience. It's a totally different audience. They just want to hear the musician or the band. So I actually haven't done those anymore because people like, just don't do it. I don't like it. It's obnoxious. So we kind of try to be more serious with that. But it never gets old. It never gets old for me to introduce you that way. It is so good to see you here, Mickey Vargas. It's so good to see all the great things that you are doing. And there is a lot to talk about here because we are just a few days away from SSW's latest show in the Lone Star State in Houston, Texas. And what a small world. My buddy, Mr. Joseph Rosas, was down there last month, but you're going to be there this coming Sunday. Extreme Invasion and Mickey Vargas. Let's set the tables because you and a guy that you have history with that's traveled once upon a time to wrestle you when you were in the 716, that big horse is now teaming up with you and against some guys that, well, one of them who came on here recently, Joey Knight Jr.
What can I say about Joey Knight Jr.? I don't know. I mean, I could say a lot. I could say a lot how he thinks he's just better than me, even though he genuinely didn't win that match. I mean, he did, but not because of what he did. Not because of what he did. It's because what X did. Has nothing to do with him. And me, in my mind, in my eyes, that motherfucker's sorry. Yo, he's sorry as hell. He ain't got nothing on me.
We showed the match. Listen, I mean, it was clear as day that the establishment only won the match because, Mr. X, your tag team partner, decided, well, he wasn't going to be a team player, and that's what led to a match where you guys were in firm control. And we showed the match on here. I talked to the big horse about it as well, and Joey was talking about a victory and talking about it as if like they ran circles around you. And
Joey's a loser. Joey's the same kid that said he's okay with losing.
Yes, Joey's it's funny you said that because speaking of losing, Joey's tag team partner coming up this Sunday is a guy that he's lost to not once but twice in the past half a year in Matthew DeLuna. And I mean, we talk about you and the big horse, but I think Joey Knight Jr. and Matthew DeLuna with their history, how on earth, Mickey Vargas, are those two guys going to coexist to even just finish and start the match?
I hope they don't. Simple as that. That's the God honest truth. I hope they don't. I hope they kill each other before the match even starts. It'll make my job 10 times easier.
Yeah, I just think that's an interesting component to that because of their history. Now, Joey had a promo that was last week where he talked about him and DeLuna, their past, putting it aside, representing SSW, representing HEW and SSW, talking about obviously the task at hand, but you can never forget, you may forgive, but you never forget. That was Mark Farner's words a couple weeks ago. Is, I forgive, but I never forget. And I just think DeLuna and Knight Jr., they can talk about forgiving all they want, but they're never going to forget their past. And that may be their demise before they even go out there.
Yeah. I don't know. This guy's fucking horn is beeping.
Well, they want to go out to you in the ring already. They know that you're unkillable. They know that you're the king, not just of the Western, but of the Texas deathmatch circuit. And that's why they're honking. They know that Mickey Vargas is one of those guys that's gotten millions of views on Instagram for his clips. They know that Mickey Vargas is going to have a match here in a couple of weeks with a hardcore deathmatch OG. And that's why they're honking. Listen, that's why they're doing that. But I don't think Joey Knight Jr. and Matthew DeLuna are going to be doing any honking at you. And that's why I would certainly think that this time you, and again, your tag team partner, your frenemy, as the big horse basically put it, last month on here, are going to find a way and get a victory coming up this Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Back to what you said originally when I first came down here last year, I was like, it's just business. This is just business. I know how to put that personal stuff to the side and do what's best for the business. And what's best for the business is putting these motherfuckers from ACW to rest. That's best for business.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get to that. I do want to talk about that show that you referred to on March 22nd, but you made a good point, which I want to go back to because you and I were talking about this, obviously in my intro and off the air, that it's basically 1 year. It's around 1 year to the day, give or take, that you first went down here in Texas. And, when we
Yeah.
look back and, it's kind of a watershed moment because here you are today. And, we talked about what was going to happen right before you had left and you went down there and, you want to talk about winning. I mean, you've done that. You not only won, you spiked the football and went into the end zone and did a victory lap and some. So when you look back so far, and it's been a year since you first went down there to where you are today, how much do you reflect on where you were then to where you are today?
A lot. You know what they say, they never forget where you came from. And every day I remind myself where I came from. And I'll never stop saying I'm grateful. I'm proud of where I came from. It's got me to where I am today. And it's just a surreal feeling, coming down here first time last year, not knowing a soul, meeting a few friends, you know what I mean? And having those few friends that I met one time, hey, bro, come live with me. Change your life. And that's what happened. I moved down here. I took the risk and I changed my life. And I just so happened to, hit the lotto. I got lucky. What can I say?
No, your talent certainly carried you, and we've seen just the people that you've gone back and forth with. We've seen the Instagrams, we've seen the social medias, and you are going to go out and wrestle another guy that's going to talk about that. But, speaking of people that where you were and never forgetting where you come from, you got some brothers that are coming here.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to talk about some of that. And I had mentioned that when Ryan was here, Ryan Days, and I got into a little bit about that with the big horse. And, how does that make you feel when we're going to see the likes of Onyx, JTA, and Luke Draven coming here, and this time being with you now that your home is in Texas? I mean, talk to me about what does it feel for your brothers from the 716 and JTA, Luke Draven, and Onyx to come here?
It feels really good. It feels good. This is what I wanted. This is why I came down here. It wasn't just to benefit me. It was to benefit everybody else that I started with, that I grew up with, that I wouldn't be here without. So, it means a lot. It's a little bittersweet feeling because they're only going to be down here for 3 days. And I would like to spend some more time with my friends, from back home. Haven't seen them in 5 months. But business is business. They're down here to do a job. I'll see them again in the future. But it does mean a lot to me. At least it means a lot to me that they're able to have this opportunity to show what they can do as well. Not just what, I did. It's able to show with where I come from, what talent they hold, where I come from.
Do you look at them differently? I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but now that they're coming here, and you talked about business, and you've been all about business since you've come down here. But are you looking at them differently now that they're coming here? And what's
they're victims. They're victims. All of them. They're victims. They're getting it. I don't care about that friendship. That's all to the side. Fuck all that. They're victims. They're gonna get treated just like everybody else. No different. No less. No none of that. No remorse. No nothing. I don't care.
Well, that's why you're all about business, and there's something at stake here. I'm going to put the poster up once again here in a minute, and obviously I'm referring to that SSW championship shot. Now, you've heard a lot about what guys have said. Joey Knight Jr. here was talking about it, and his establishment brothers are going to be out there, and they're going to be looking at that. You got the big horse who said on here that he had CJ Flores dead to rights until Ryan Days. Then Ryan Days was on here Sunday, and I know you heard about that because he said, well, I allowed CJ Flores to be the champion. I curb stomped the big horse, and that gave CJ Flores that championship, and he's on borrowed time. I'm going to get that wrong. But yeah, he might not be. But now I want to ask you about that because you're the guy that I've got here and what you've done and your resume. And what a way to add to that resume and almost cap an amazing year. I always talk about you with a lot of different guys that have come on from places that you've come from and how to make it. and how to reinvent yourself and how to do the things that you need necessary to go to the places that we all envision. I always bring you up. You're one of those handful of guys. You can figure out who the other names are. But now to add in your resume, maybe bigger than any clip you have out there or any reel or whatever you want to call it, you have that chance to win the SSW Rumble and get a shot at that SSW championship. Talk to me about what that would mean to you.
I think it would solidify me. I think it would solidify me in the Texas Indies that I'm here to stay. You know, I'm not going anywhere. I have a title. I have a foot in this company. This is my company. SSW is my company. It's Mickey's company. It was built on my back, not on anyone else's back. Who's on all the posters? It's me. It's this beautiful face. It's me. It's not anyone else. Consistently, you see Mickey. So it's only right, and it only makes sense for Mickey to hold the SSW championship. I'm just saying. It's only right. It's only right.
And, you know, there you are, and you're front and center. I mean, we look at this poster, and it's coming up here this Sunday, and you got to certainly go out there, and if you're in the area, please buy a ticket. I cannot stress the importance of supporting wrestling shows, and especially what this show has to offer. I mean, there are so many people here that are on this card that have been on here, and you want to see them go, and I talked about the example that Mickey has set. There's a couple of guys on this poster who I think are about to do the same thing. And one of those guys right next to you. And I think we're going to be really excited to see where he goes from here. So please support all the great talent that's on here by buying a ticket or showing your support by liking and following. You know, and I want to bring that up because I got about the business aspect when it comes to your brothers, Luke Draven, JTA, Onyx. But there's guys from all over the place. Tennessee, your home state. I mean, up and down the Southwest, the South, the United States, you name a place, they're here. You know, What does that mean to you to show people that, well, let's just say once upon a time were like you, and they came from, let's just say, maybe smaller confines and more humbler beginnings to now be that guy front and center to show them that this is your home and you're the guy who's not only unkillable, but you're the guy that they can only hope to follow in your footsteps.
It's a good feeling, you know. It'll make me feel real good, specifically because, you know, I think I proved myself. Like, I moved down here. I changed my life. I changed this goal. Me. Not my friends from back home, not LaFlame, not anybody. Me. I did this by myself. And out of my own gratitude, come on, y'all boys, I got you. Off my hard work for everybody. This was a Mickey thing. This was a Mickey thing.
There's no denying that.
I think having all these people in this show, win, lose, or draw, even though we all know what the outcome is going to be, and ain't none of them winning. That's beside the point. Point is it'll make me feel good knowing that I helped my friends. You know, me coming out here and risking my life, basically. I dropped everything I had back home. Literally dropped everything I had, risked my life to come out here. And for them to benefit off of that, it really makes my heart warm, you know?
But there's also something, I think, of an added incentive where there's going to be guys like a D'Angelo LaFlame, who a lot of people have talked about here and more humbler beginnings where you came from. Guys like CJ Blaine, who certainly, listen, he's done a lot of great things just like you. And, you know, obviously your brothers out there that are coming here from the 716 and even a guy like Joey Knight Jr., who's been on the scene, you know, maybe around the same time as you, give or take, and to specifically show some of those guys who were in the same shoes that you were, and to have that opportunity to win that Rumble and maybe even eliminate some of those guys, I would have to think that that's an added, you know, extra incentive to motivate you. You could show these guys, you know, because we would talk about you. We would talk about some of these guys on it all the time in those humbler beginnings, right? Everybody talked about, D'Angelo and this, Mickey this, and you know, CJ Blaine when he was a different name once upon a time, right? All these different guys, even your brothers. JTA came on here right at, you know, the tail end of things, and Luke Draven was here a little over a year ago. Onyx was always talked about, in these different super shows you were a part of in more humbler beginnings. But now this is your yard. This is your yard. This is your turf. And you can show these guys and maybe even eliminate them. And what a added incentive that you could have and stop them. And also, like I said, add to that resume, SSW Rumble winner, which leads you to that SSW championship. I think it's got to add extra motivation.
Yeah, for sure. It is an honor, it's a privilege to work with all these people from across the country, realistically.
Yeah.
From across the country, it is a really great privilege to show what the 716 has to offer, the city of Buffalo, what we have to offer as a whole, as far as talent, as far as charisma, stuff like that. It's a great feeling, and it's a great opportunity to network, get in with this person from this state and get in for that person in that state. Maybe one day you might see Nikki, and who knows?
We're going to be talking about a match you're about to have. Well, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And if you're out there, do me a favor, a couple things that I want to share on my screen. First, please support SSW. Super Southern Wrestling is on Instagram, Facebook. Mickey Vargas is out there on Facebook, and he's on Instagram. He's on TikTok. I have his Instagram page up here right now. Go follow him. Go follow this man. He's got a lot of content, a lot of reels, a lot of stuff out there. The guy's definitely unkillable. He's the king, not just the Western New York or the New York Deathmatch Circuit, but maybe even the Texas Deathmatch Circuit. So go out there and give him a follow. He's going to be in action in a couple of different places. First, leading off here this Sunday, SSW's Extreme Invasion here in Houston, Texas. Please go out there and follow. We will definitely get to the chat in a few minutes. I promise you. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally here, where all music, no wrestling. I got to talk to you about somebody you recently wrestled, and I have the poster right in front of me. And that guy who's, let's just say, Nino Extremo. And you got to talk to me about what just happened here a couple weeks ago.
Fucking crazy blood bath, bro. Nino Extremo, bro. Let me put it like this. This kid is going to be the next big thing. If he already isn't, we
spoke about him once before, I think. I spoke about him
Nino Extremo is, bro, I have nothing bad to say, especially because he's one of my young Pillar brothers. We had that match because, we had to do business. That's beside the point. Point is Nino Extremo is going to be, he's that fucking guy right now, bro. He's going crazy. He has matches with Lil Sicko coming up. Fucking Dr. Redacted. He has a title match at the Junkyard coming up in March. He's going crazy. All my young Pillar brothers, man. This kid right here is nothing but up. He's going nowhere but up from here.
I could see that. I mean, just what you guys have all done. I mean, it's just been extremely impressive, and I think that's obviously where it's going to lead you. And then I saw a match you had at the end of November where you were wrestling outside. I have the footage for that, and there was definitely some action there, and some different things you went through, and obviously wrestling these different guys, I got to think is also going to prepare you for what's ahead this Sunday.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. Nothing like deathmatch. Once you do deathmatch, man, a regular match is nothing. You know what I mean? It's like an easy payday, basically. I don't got to go in there and get cut up. All I got to do is go in there, punch a few people in the face, throw a couple people over the top, bro. Easy payday.
Now, I got to come back to that. I do want to come back to it because obviously the Big Hoss had said some things. You guys have a history. And I did touch upon Joey and Matthew DeLuna, which I don't even know how these guys are going to coexist. I've watched DeLuna at night wrestle on here from Joey's YouTube page. But you saying everything will be A-okay with you and the Big Hoss? You guys will be able to coexist coming up here this Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
And so not a worry. Not a worry out there in the world.
No, I mean, I'd be a liar to say I didn't have something in the back of my mind, There's always that what if. But I think collectively, me and him came to an agreement without having to really say anything to each other that we have to do something about these guys from HCW. We have to do something about them because I don't know where they got the cojones to step up and think they run this show, that they run SSW, but that's not how it works down here, bro. That's not how it works. So I think me and him, collectively agreed that we're gonna have to put a stop to that. It's a wrap. No more of that.
So you're taking it personal that the establishment and Matthew DeLuna and all this HCW contingent is coming in here, and they're coming, well, unless you might want to say across the border into the state of Texas, and you could throw it out there, not to get into what's going on in the world. Let's please not. But I mean, but I think there is a point that you and maybe some others out there take that personal, that HCW talent is walking around here, that they run the place, and they're going to show the world. And I think Joey even made the point when he was here a couple of weeks ago on Sportswire that he specifically wanted to send a message to win that Rumble and be the SSW Rumble winner as an HCW talent. That has to be a personal thing. And obviously, you may have to go. The fans are coming. We can certainly get to the chat.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on. Boy, the chat's here. Oh, my God. Could be people running after Mickey Vargas already. It seems like Mickey Vargas is already being attacked. Who knows? Could it be HCW? Could it be fans wanting his autograph? Let's get to the chat because obviously Mickey Vargas right now has been dealing with a lot right now. Who knows what the establishment? We know the tricks that they've been playing up against them at HCW. Could it be playing out here at SSW? I have no idea. Zilla's here first. Wait, Mickey Vargas may be back. No, he's okay. We think he's okay. And there is Ox McCoy, the enforcer of Sportswire Radio. Hello to our friends in the EWA. Yes, UB Jenkins, obviously the high authority, and I have it high authority that Mickey Vargas is definitely unkillable, and whatever they may try with the fans or anybody else in HCW, he is most certainly unkillable. Thank you to Rick Del Santo and the Pro Wrestling Wire. If you are out there, do me a favor. Go and subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Wire and the YouTube channel of Rick Del Santo. He was just out there at the TF Crew Milford Mania. 400-plus people were there. 400-plus people. That's why you got to go hit a sub for him. And he's got some really big guests coming up. He's doing a lot better job of covering wrestling than I do. And he's more knowledgeable. And he's also better looking. So go out there and hit the sub button for Rick. We appreciate Rick very much, and I hope you do so as well. Let me get to some more comments, and if you're here, also hit the sub button for us for the first time, and I thank you. I don't know you, but I thank you. I want to say hello to my buddy Bam Allen. We'll be talking about you on Friday because Day Jameson is back, but the chat, we can take a break for a minute because
different, folks. That merch money be hitting different.
I thought that was
716.
I'm so glad that you got money because my first thought was, oh boy, I knew that night the arrogant Aaron Black and the Real Deal Eclipse got maybe some inside information. You were going to be here. They were going to pull something, but thankfully that wasn't the case. And instead, you obviously dealt with your many fans who've been supporting you. And I'm very happy, Mickey, that it wasn't
the case. If that doesn't prove right there, I'm selling merch on the interview, baby. I'm selling merch on the interview.
I don't even know if anybody's done that. And listen, I mean, I had David Ellefson on, the founder of thrash metal and Megadeth. I don't even think he could say that. I mean, Gus G's the second longest tenured guitarist in Ozzy Osbourne's history. I had Rhino and Raven on here. I don't even think they could say that. And those guys were supposed to be the holy grails. But yet, Mickey Vargas is selling merchandise on Sportswire. That's why he is unkillable.
You can only get it from me.
And those legends have sold and made millions. They've made millions and they can't even say that. That shows you the importance of Mickey Vargas. And that shows you how serious he is about taking care of business. And that's why maybe HCW guys should find something else to do on February 22nd. Maybe watch the NBA doubleheader. Maybe watch college basketball. Maybe get ready for Selection Sunday in 3 weeks. But don't get involved with this guy because who knows what else is going to happen. Thank you, Bam Allen. Yes. And we appreciate it. And then one of your brothers is here, Mr. JTA. I mean, obviously wanted to say.
Texas has been the 716 territory since July, baby. Since July.
Well, he's saying it's starting now.
Nah, because he's coming down? Never.
That's what he says. Well, I mean, that's his opinion. I mean, obviously you're going to have to remind him. You're going to have to remind him that it may be awkward for you to see some of these guys because of what you've done and the stature of your success that maybe just, I don't know.
I would never big league my homies. Never big league them.
But there's business in hand,
when it comes to that Rumble, I'm big leaguing everybody because you're going over the top rope, baby.
And you also got to be you wouldn't want those guys to go back to the 716 and have your championship shot against CJ Flores or anybody else. I mean, you wouldn't want them to do that to you right now. You can't let them do that to you.
That wouldn't happen. That would
You
hurt
have
my feelings. That would hurt my feelings if they
and
did
you
that.
want them to be good guests, because obviously a guest should never invade someone's home and take something away from them, right? They
Exactly. You
can't do
get it.
that. And thank you to Stevie for tuning in. Mickey Vargas, my boy, is live. Yes, he is unkillable. We love Mickey on Sportswire.
That's my boy Stevie.
How you doing, Stevie? Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Stevie's the one that pulled the Kenzan out of my head.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Fact,
yes,
those videos of him Kenzan getting pulled out my head. That's me, Stevie.
You already got what? You got 10 million views total now on Instagram? 10, 11 million at this point?
If you add it all together, it's close to like 5, but just on my page alone, it's 2.
That's why. See, we're in the millions. We're in the millions. There you go. Thank you, Zella. Thank you, Zella. Mickey, yeah, I'll tell you what. I said it many times, and I want to reiterate at this point because, we talk a lot from the humble beginnings that you and some others have come from. And, you're always one of those guys that I reference. There's a handful of guys that I referenced recently and who bet on themselves and took it to the next level. And you did it. You did it. And so there's some guys that have done it. And you're one of those guys that I reference. So I think that certainly speaks volumes to your success. And he definitely made it happen. There's no question. Thank you, Ox. He was very much here on Sunday's show with Ryan Days praising you. And Ox is going to be back.
Ox heavy, bro. I be peeping what Ox be doing. He's one crazy motherfucker too, bro.
Well, we hope to see him wrestle again. Yeah, I mean, he killed his opponent the last time a couple weeks ago. But let's hope we get.
We come on when he's tombstoned them, when he pile drive them. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy.
Well, he's a crazy guy, and that's why you got to go out there and check him out next Saturday. And you make sure you follow Mickey on Instagram. And there you go. Speaking of people, well, before I get to him, he's going to pull up to SSW this Sunday. So maybe you're going to have some more content there for you and your Instagram page. And speaking of people that I hear may return to a ring, but in the meantime, had a birthday yesterday, Mr. Torrance Banks. I want to say the brother was good and greetings. He wanted to say greetings, everyone.
Torrance knows how I feel about him. I love Torrance, but man, Torrance could have been.
Well, we appreciate that.
Torrance could have been an SSW. He chose not to.
Well, I wasn't gonna. Well, I won't go there. But I mean, I know we would love to have seen him out there. I mean, but hey, Bam Allen from West Virginia, our friend in WWF, says he likes your attitude. There you go. Hell yeah. There you go. So you represent. You got some people here in the chat. Yeah, Bam, I love Bam. Bam, is basically trying to. He's almost like a young RVD when he's out there in the ring. Thank you, Bam. Please follow Rick on his YouTube channel. And also, hell yeah. Also want to wish a happy birthday to Aaron Blaze. It's his birthday today. He'll be on here Sunday. Wanted to give you the salute. Thank you, Aaron. Happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day. A lot of birthdays late. You got
happy glow day, brother.
Banks' birthday was yesterday. Aaron Blaze is today, and that wants me to share my screen, so I'm going to do this for you. I'll get to something else later. Before I talk to the match, I'm very excited for you to talk about. And you're in the Hall of Fame once again for being unkillable. So I'm putting you in again. I know it's a half annual year thing, but you're in the Hall of Fame yet again. In SSW, we put you in the Hall of Fame for SSW because we gave SSW the Hall of Fame certificate. So we're giving you another induction in the Hall of Fame. So you're certainly catching up to some of the others. But congratulations. I will give that to you more off the air. And thank you very much for what you do. And if you're out there, please follow SSW. Please follow Mickey on his Instagram page. You'll definitely be in for a lot of great content, a lot of footage, and that's what we'll talk about here further. But all right, I'm excited about it. I want to talk about it with you before I come back to SSW. You have a match with a man that a lot of people know, and you've done a lot. There's no question. You bet on yourself. You won, and you won tenfold. But now you're going up here, and this may be the biggest match of your career. It really, in terms of the status and the stature of the man you're wrestling, I mean, we know.
Most definitely.
I'm going to bring it up. I have the poster. I'm glad that you're as excited as I am because on March the 6th, you are going to be wrestling the one and only Anthrax with 2 X's, and talk to me about what we can expect coming up here.
You can expect the old dog finally getting put down. Bro, listen, I'm going to give Anthrax his flowers. He deserves them. Anthrax, if you're a deathmatch fan, you know of Anthrax. You know of what he's done. Wrestling Schlack, wrestling Mickey Knuckles, wrestling Masada, wrestling all these guys trained by Matt Tremont. You know Anthrax, right?
Yep.
But if you're a real deathmatch fan, you also know Anthrax is such a horrible fucking champion. You know, I've never met a champion that's been the longest reigning X brand whatever and only defended it like 3-4 times, maybe 5, the whole year. The whole year. So you're gonna expect a lot of blood, a lot of hatred. There is no business with this. This is straight personal. I don't fucking like this guy. It's simple as that. I don't like him. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like anything about him. Genuinely. And so you're gonna see a real fight. This isn't wrestling. This isn't the WWE. I'm gonna punch this guy right in his fucking face. And if he gets knocked out, he gets knocked out. I'm gonna pin him right there. 1, 2, 3.
So would it be fair for me to ask that this is personal coming up here in a few weeks?
This is very personal. You know, this is very personal because I feel as if I don't win, if I don't beat this guy, then everything I preach as far as the younger generation and how we're up next, it's all obsolete. It all means nothing. So I have a lot to prove, not just for myself, but for the young pillars. If I lose, we all lose. If I win, we all win. So I have more than just, you know, a personal vendetta with him. This is my life we're talking about. This is my livelihood. I need this more than anybody needs anything right now. I need, and not, it's not just a regular match. This is for the X brand championship.
You know, you have the opportunity in the span of less than a month to win the SSW Rumble and to win the X brand championship. The magnitude of that, and to cap that off, you would beat a man that, again, his resume speaks for itself. So in many ways, how are you going to handle that pressure? You very well by this Sunday could have won the SSW Rumble. But then after preparing for that, you've got to now go into the ring with this guy and talk to me about how you're going to handle that pressure coming up here.
Pressure makes diamonds, baby. Pressure makes diamonds, and I'm glowing right now. I'm glowing. I'm shining, baby. I'm shining right now. I'm shining out in Texas. So I'm already a diamond. I'm used to this pressure. I felt the pressure the moment I got on that plane on July 12th. I felt that pressure.
And that's a great point. I mean, the pressure, and you've thrived in that, and, you know, going up against a man, and, you know, but you said that if you fail, others around you fail. Those young pillars, you know, you talked about Nino Extremo, wrestling him, and the different guys that you've been out there, out and about since you went down there July 12th. But why is it that if you fail, everybody else around you fails?
All eyes are on us right now. In the deathmatch scene, all eyes are on young pillars. We're vocal. We're crazy. We don't care. We don't give a fuck about respect. We're not in this business to be liked. We're in this business to make money and to hurt people. So all eyes are on us right now. Everything we do, everything we touch becomes viral. The young pillars itself is viral. So what would that do to us as a group if any of us were to lose on a high caliber?
I mean, that's obviously why we're going to find out. I have the poster up, and I'll come back to that poster. But obviously, going up there in a magnitude of a match like this, and you've done a lot. You know, we've talked about Masada and you in the past. We're certainly talking about this Sunday a lot. We've been talking about that over the past few weeks. But to go in there when you go, and it's right before that bell time, all this stuff, you're going to be meeting this man mano a mano. And are you going to be nervous, or you're Mickey Vargas? What do you say to that?
I don't even, nervous isn't in my vocabulary. That's not in my vocab. It's game time. From the moment I wake up, it's game time. It's serious. There is no walking the locker room and shaking people's hands and, oh, how you doing? My name is Mickey. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do this, and I'm here to fucking hurt somebody. I'm here to come back with that X brand championship. And when I do, and when I do come back with the X-Brand Championship. All the other dweebs that tried to big league me back in the day, you know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. It's the biggest fuck you, spit in the face, and I hope you fucking cry and hate me for winning that X-Brand Championship, because it's gonna happen. I'm gonna win it.
I want to ask you two parts. I want to go back to a couple of things. First, I want to go back to Anthrax, because as we know, he cut a promo a couple days ago, and he said a few things, and I'm sure you caught that. And what was your
I
reactions
laughed
to
at
what
it.
he had to say? That now that you're here, and I'm going to be sure that Mr. Anthrax is going to hear this in a little while, so don't you worry about that. But what was your reactions to what he had to say? And he referenced that Mickey Knuckles that you also just brought up. So what was your thoughts on what he had to say when he fired the first shot?
Like I said, you know, I gotta respect the man for what he's done. Put that out there. I appreciate him saying that he was excited. You know, when he found out he was working me, I was so excited. You know, I meant, you mean the world, kid. You're crazy like I am. This, that, and the third. But then I'm disrespectful. And I never said I gave a fuck about respect to begin with. So why were you surprised? I don't know why you were surprised. But I mean, I took what he said very personally. Very personally. You know, because I could hear the hatred in his voice. Like, he don't like me just as much as I don't like him. So, you know what I mean? There's no point of trying to be gentlemanly, however you pronounce it.
You're Mickey Vargas. You can say whatever word or butcher it
And then
the way
he has the
you
nerve to disregard me in his own video about me and call out Knuckles, which I love Mickey Knuckles. I have nothing bad to say about her. That is the GOAT of all GOATs. I don't care about none of that. I love Mickey Knuckles. I'm not saying anything bad about her.
Right.
Him to call her out in the middle of my video. That was my video. You brought me up. That was for me. And try to give the shine to Mickey Knuckles. No, I really got to do something to you. No, I really got to do something to you, bro.
So you were taken lightly. That was a backhanded diss to you.
You tried to disregard me like I'm no big deal, and you worried about Mickey Knuckles, and you need to be worried about me, Mickey Vargas. That's who you need to be worried about.
You think that this is a passing of the torch moment?
When I win, it's going to be definitely a moment made for history. It's going to be that moment where I don't care what you said about me in the past. I don't care what you said about me 2 weeks ago, a year ago, a month ago, an hour ago. I don't care. I'm undeniable the face of deathmatch wrestling when I do that. When me, Mickey Vargas, a kid that came from New York 6 months ago, comes and wins a major deathmatch title, I'm undeniable the face of Western New York deathmatch wrestling.
I think you could very well be the face of all deathmatch wrestling to defeat a man of his caliber, a man of his stature in Anthrax. And, you know, and like I said, in a span of less than 20 days, you could have won the SSW Rumble, which leads to you eventually winning the SSW Championship, and you could win that X-Brand Championship. And I have to ask you before I move on, what would it mean to you to be the X-Brand Champion?
I thought about that a lot. I thought about that a lot. And it'll be a surreal feeling. Because a lot of things are said behind closed doors that I don't bring to the light. You know what I mean? And a lot of things have been said about me, either to my face or behind my back, without people knowing I hear it. So when I do win that title, it's going to mean the world to me in proving to everyone and proving to myself that I belong. Like, I'm not just no passing phase. I'm not going to come and go. You're not going to just see Mickey Vargas for a few months and then not see him ever again. I'm here to stay. You will see Mickey Vargas winning the Tournament of Death. You will see Mickey Vargas winning the King of the Death. You will see Mickey Vargas and die promotion in Japan. You will see Mickey Vargas until the day that he decides he wants to retire. And it all starts when I win the X Brand Championship.
And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's undeniable what Mickey Vargas has done, and very well this could be the capping of quite a year and quite a span of a few weeks, really. And that match is going to take place here coming up on March 6th at the White Swan. It is for the X Brand Wrestling Championship, and you can check it out. It's going to be the Anthrax, the one and only Anthrax, no ring, no masters, and he is up against the one and only Mickey Vargas, our guest here. And Title Match Wrestling has it streaming all the violence. You can also go to locowrestling.bigcartel.com to buy a ticket if you're nearby in the area. And you talk about the magnitude of it. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is a guy that from his humble beginnings, wasn't that long ago, and to what he has an opportunity to do. That speaks a lot to this guy's character. It speaks a lot to his determination and why it's undeniable. He is definitely unkillable, and that's why you want to follow him on Instagram as well. And you may want to check out X Brand Wrestling. Please support that. Obviously,
go check out Loco Wrestling.
Yes, Loco.
Throw up Loco Wrestling up there for me for the one time, because if it ain't Loco, it ain't fire, daddy.
Well, I was going to put the Instagram handle. I have yours up here. I'll come back to Loco's in a minute because I was trying to find it and I have it right in front of me. So I will put up Instagrams because I have JV's page right in front of me. So please support Loco Wrestling. We have many of our friends that have wrestled there. They have a big show coming up here, One Night Stand. That's first. So go check that out. And that'll take place the following weekend from this
One Night Stand. You're going to see the young pillar, fucking Nino Extremo.
Yes.
Fucking beat the hell out of Lil Sicko.
And that's why you need to be there. And there it is. There is the poster. And check that out.
You're going to see Primo Ka whip Viper's ass. Domestic violence.
Well, I'm his words, not ours, but obviously let's go support this card as well coming up here on March the 6th. And again, a lot to talk about there. Very exciting. And please check it out. Okay, I want to come back to SSW and I want to come back to CJ Flores. Let's go with the fact that you win this Rumble on Sunday. And I know he's got his own situation. Ryan Days talked about, well, if I win the briefcase and when I win it, I could just cash in on CJ Flores. And, I have to ask you, what is your thoughts on CJ Flores? Should whatever was thrown in front of him, he survives as the incumbent. You're the SSW Rumble winner. Let's say you and your opportunity to take on CJ Flores.
I got a lot of respect for CJ. I have a lot of respect for CJ. My first opponent down here, one-on-one.
Yes.
Was CJ.
I remember that.
It was CJ. And because of him, not going to lie, because of him, a lot of the guys I know now knew of me before I even moved down here. So for that, I'm always going to be grateful for CJ. But now if we're talking for SSW and what it's going to mean, what am I going to do when I win the Rumble and I win the opportunity for his title, which is, I'm just going to start calling it for mine, basically.
Okay.
I'm a lot more prepared. I know I've watched CJ several times now. Been on several different shows with CJ. I've even wrestled CJ for the inaugural heavyweight championship match.
Yes.
For SSW. So I'm very much well prepared for CJ. I don't think he's prepared for my new style. I don't think he's ready for it. So with that being said, when I do win the Rumble, it's gonna be a pretty much easy win for me, honestly. Because he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready for the aggression that I'm going to bring. He's used to people being nice and. You know what I mean? No.
Well, the Big Horse talked about the same thing.
Anywhere, blood. I'm gonna catch you at your job.
I believe that. See where you are. Listen, you just got merchandise sales, so I definitely, I could see that. But I guess then that means you're on the same wavelength as the Big Horse and the likes of Ryan Days. That really he has no idea what he's walking into this coming Sunday, and his days to take Ryan Day's last name are on borrowed time. Really, it's the end of days as his run as the incumbent, whether it's any of what those guys do, but it's really what you say because you have the last word on that. So really, you're in agreement then with what everybody else has said about CJ Flores, I suppose.
Because CJ, he likes to sleep on people. He loves to sleep on people. CJ, great worker, great wrestler, but he loves to sleep on people. CJ thinks he's the number one star, and in order to be the number one star, you got to think like the number one star. And right now, he is the number one star. And by doing that, he slacks and he lacks, and he just doesn't take in account what everyone else can do and what they could do to you, him in particular. So that's his downfall. That's going to be just sleeping on people, just not actually tape studying and seeing what people are capable of. Because,
Yeah, listen, his own odds, like I said, they're only a third to walk away with his championship. And then there's the whole thing with the briefcase match with, Ryan Days had talked about here on Sportswire, and that, who's to say he doesn't cash in on CJ Flores, obviously, if in his words, when he wins the briefcase, and who knows? I mean, really, I could be wasting my time asking you about CJ Flores, and it could be a Ryan Day or anybody else that's in there. Listen, with all due respect, it could be Marr, it could be Richards or Gold. I mean, the reality of it is that there's 3 other people in that briefcase, and who's to say that those guys don't win the briefcase and they wind up going out and cashing in? I mean, listen, that's what it comes down to. Whether it's again, Jay Gold or Richards. I mean, that's the reality of it. But I got to ask you before I get to a few final words with you. I want to talk about the show that Joey Knight Jr. conversely felt he was the hometown hero, and he was the guy that was going to have that home field advantage, and it's that Tri-Promotion show. It's the Tri-Promotion Showdown, and it's a lot that's been made about this show, and it's taking place March 22nd when Worlds Collide, and I wanted your perspective on it because obviously you're an SSW guy. I heard from Joey, and I heard from the Big Hoss on it, and just what are you thinking here when it comes to this match and your role?
So I've heard rumors of who I'm working for that show. I'm not at liability to say on air right now.
Yeah, please don't.
So in my position in that show, I'm very confident.
Okay.
Off of knowledge of who I'm working, I'm very, very confident.
Okay.
I can put it simply like that. I can guarantee it's going to be +1 for SSW.
And also, I would think also, because we talked about March 6th, right? You're going to go into this as the X-Brand Wrestling Champion. So, frankly, it doesn't matter who they would put up against you, that you're going to go into this with momentum that almost nobody could even come close to having. And there would be no way to stop you because going into March 22nd, you're going to be the X-Brand Wrestling Champion. So, really, at the end of the day, anybody that's going to be put up against you, whether it's HCW or FTWA, they might as well maybe change their plans and just watch March Madness. Really, that's the truth.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I might have that 1,000-yard stare by then because that March 6th match is gonna be so crazy. I'm fully expecting to pay a hefty hospital bill. Put it like that. If I
yeah.
I know for a fact he's not a punk. He's not a bitch. He's gonna bring it to me just as much. I'm gonna bring it to him. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy match. And I know people are going to get hurt. So with that mentality coming straight off of that match, going into this Tri-City show, already in that warrior mindset that someone's going to get hurt there too. And it's going to be their fault. It ain't going to be my fault. They know what they signed up for when they booked Mickey Vargas.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the ring with you, especially if we think about it, right? You win the SSW Rumble. Then you go out and take the X-Brand Wrestling Championship, and then you'd have an opportunity to represent SSW there. Yeah, I would definitely not want to be the opponent. I always take the sports term. I would not want to face you, but I look at you on the schedule. So that's the game. Maybe I want to just say, well, in the NBA, that's where we want to tank. Everybody's about the NBA now and tanking and, maybe load management. If I was your opponent, I'd be using the load management term, and that was where I would certainly come across to that. So I got all that. So let's come back to do a couple things. And before I do that, I do want to give this to SSW. I think I can give this to management. management. It's SSW Day on all Sportswire radio platforms. So congratulations to you and the rest. I can't do HCW Day because Joey's not here. If I do HCW Day, you are going to then turn.
If you gave me an HCW Day, I'd probably hang up this phone call.
You would hang up. You would hang up. You'd come to my house and beat the tar out of me. We'd have an issue.
I know where you live. You do.
You know where I live. You know where my
state is. I know exactly.
Exactly. So I'm not that dumb. I mean, I'm dumb on a lot of things, but not that dumb. But no, obviously, no. We want to give this to SSW. We appreciate what you're doing. But let me ask you then. All right, let's go with first February 22nd. Is there final words for anybody that may cross your way in the Rumble and in the tag match?
Your best bet as far as the Rumble is just to eliminate yourself. Just make it easy for me and make it easy for you. It's going to save a size 13 boot in your jaw. It'll make your life better. It'll make my life easier. Just go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? As far as the tag match, no remorse. You know, I got Joey Knight Jr. and I got the Selfish Generation in that tag match. That's two homies from back home. Fun fact, Hunter just so happened to be my last match back home.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
And he set me on fire. So
I remember it. Yes, and, you somehow got up afterwards. Yes,
I have a huge vendetta with him. You can't just set me on fire and think I'm just gonna be like, all right, cool. No. You see, something's gotta happen to you. Something's gotta happen to you. You can't. There's a yin to the yang. You gave me the yin. Now here comes the yang.
You think it's fair to say then? And we talked a lot about Joey because Joey was here, obviously, and the establishment and De Luna. But maybe you're focused more on the man that you last wrestled in our home state, in Hunter. Maybe that's the guy that you want to have dead to rights, to use the big horses term. That's the guy. Yeah. Maybe you're focused. Maybe you have the most unfinished business with him than anybody else in that match.
More than anybody in that match, I think that man is the one I would say I have it out for the most, for sure. There's a long history between me and Hunter before I came down to Texas. For those who know, they know.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have it out for him for the majority of the matches. It's gonna be a tough fight for this kid. I don't know. I get flustered when I think about it because he set me on fire. Like I'm gonna.
I know. Listen,
I'm going to hurt him. Like,
and you said, and remember when you said you were here, I remember talking to you about this. You said you were going to take that championship with you, and unfortunately, because of what he did, you weren't able to do that. If you recall that conversation we had right before you left, you said that you were going to take that championship with you, and unfortunately, well, because of those circumstances, you didn't get to do that.
As much as I would like to, unfortunately I didn't. I went up in a blaze of glory. I tried my best, and then I came out here and I have a second opportunity to get my get back, and that get back, I'm gonna get it back in blood. Put it like that.
Oh, you know what? I have no doubt that that's going to be the case, and obviously, really, really excited about that, and also I want to give a shout out to Copper Dragon because he rated, despite the outcome of the match you had with Mr. X, he did rate your match with the establishment, and Mr. Dragon always loves seeing you here on Sportswire. I'm actually a subscriber to his Patreon page, so I like to give him a plug on that. So we'll be excited about that. So I have to ask you before closing thoughts. I naturally have to ask you, do you have any final words for Anthrax before March 6th?
I don't know if you got kids or not, but if you do, make sure you put them in your will. Because you're not going to go home good after this. You're not going to be safe after this. If you have a wife, make sure you kiss her goodbye. That might be the last time you get to do that. That's how life goes. I think it's your time. You're old. You're washed up. You're a has-been. It's time for the new generation to come through. It's time for the new generation to prove that we are here to fucking stay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, Mickey Vargas is definitely, undeniably here to stay. And there's no question he's unkillable. And that's why February 22nd, this Sunday coming up, he's got as good of opportunity as anybody to win that SSW Rumble. He's got unfinished business with the man he wrestled where his humble beginnings were. And he's also got this opportunity to win that X Brand Wrestling Championship. And oh, by the way, March 22nd, we got that tri-promotion showdown where he'll be representing SSW as the X Brand Wrestling Champion. That's why you want to follow Mickey on Instagram. Also, shout outs to Loco Wrestling, obviously SSW. They have a Facebook page. That's Mickey's page. If you're here for the first time, go out there and follow him. I want to say hello to the one and only Daniel Tafu. I wanted to say hello to you. Thank you, Daniel, who was here a bunch of times, and I'm sure he'll be a topic on Friday's show, and his collective partner, Dave Jameson, is here. Another interesting guy. Hopefully, he comes out west one day to meet you. He's wrestled, Fuego del Sol. Maybe he'll wrestle you. Hopefully, it is a far travel. I don't know how far.
Hey, one night stand. Sammy Stackhouse is gonna be there. Sam Stackhouse gonna be a one night stand.
I can talk to Jay. I'll ask him about it on Friday.
If it ain't Loco, it ain't fire, Daddy.
I will ask him about that. I will ask Mr. Jameson about that. And then before I get to closing thoughts, is there anything else you want to plug? Anything else that you want to share before we get to closing thoughts?
Go follow my homies on Instagram. Go follow the Young Pillars, Marty Two Fly, Primo Cuh, Nino Extremo. Follow my homies from back home, Hunter, Kevin Brooks, Onyx, Luke Draven. Show some love. Let it be known that
JTA as well. JTA, nice little plug.
Oh, and JTA. Sorry, JTA.
Yep. And also Mr. Tafua says that he has something that you may want to know about. He's wrestled Mickey Knuckles. So I can certainly yes, he has. He has wrestled Mickey Knuckles
no, I'm curious.
For a company. He wrestled Mickey Knuckles in a company in March of last year for a company that doesn't exist for some certain reasons. I can't really get into.
Is this shit show wrestling?
No, I'll tell you off the air. But she was in the. I think the Soul Taker and Pepper Pride were the other opponents, and they were like it was.
Buddy, better follow me on Instagram.
Well, he's a Facebook. I'll give him your Facebook profile. Put it that way. He's not a big Instagram guy. He's one of those guys that's on Facebook. I'll handle that. You'd actually get along with him. You guys look a little bit alike, except you don't have any hair anymore. So yeah, I'll connect you with that. Yeah, he wrestled the Soul Taker, Pepper Pride, and Mickey Knuckles in one match. Yeah, we talked a lot about that last year. I'll tell you where it was off the air. I think he would appreciate if I said it like that. But obviously, it's your day, and he and I are roommates. Winking and I. It's a long story. It's a funny story. But nevertheless, I'm going to pass the baton to you. I am very happy we're all happy for you. I'm glad you got a lot of people here in the chat, as I always am, to hear what you have to say. And hopefully we do this again when you win the X Brand Wrestling Championship. And I'm going to pass the baton to you, my friend. You have anything else? The floor is yours.
Just want to say always, Tom, thank you for the opportunity to come onto your platform, first and foremost.
You helped me build the platform. You're welcome.
Secondly, for anyone watching that has any doubts, any concerns that it's not possible, you've been doing this for X, Y, and Z, you don't know if you could do it, you're just getting started and you don't know you could do it, try it. Don't give up. If you think you're done, just tell yourself one more day. That's all I need is one more day, one more training seminar, one more of this, just one more. Just give yourself one more. Don't give up because it's possible. It's scary and it's rough and it's not easy, but it's possible.
Absolutely. That's well said.
As far as all my anything else, make sure you guys stay tuned. Please follow my Instagram, Mickey Vargas 716. He's plugged that a million times already. And if you're a fan, just watch. I got a really big match coming up. Really big matches coming up. A lot of footage coming out real soon.
And TikTok, by the way, I got to plug you on TikTok because I do share you on TikTok when you come across my page. So you're on TikTok as well.
And for anyone who was a fan of mine, just thank you.
Absolutely. You guys were a fan, literally. I mean, at the first, listen, that's impressive because, like I said, I rattled off the names who've been on here. They can't say that they had a merchandise sale on Sportzwire.
On the air. I'm just saying.
I'm going to bring that up.
Everyone does it like Mickey Vargas.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to bring this up. This is the first. I'm going to bring this up now because there is one person who certainly made history tonight. The first person to have ever had a merchandise sale on air is you. There's you.
Come on, we do it different. The 716, we do it different there, baby. We built different. What can I say?
Yeah, tell you what. Yeah, you definitely are built differently. That's why you are who you are. And I want everybody to follow you on Instagram, TikTok. Please go out there and support SSW, and please support local wrestling, X Brand Wrestling. Shocky Boy has been doing a lot of things there. Stephen Havoc has done a lot of great things out there. All the guys, and your 716 brothers are going to be here in SSW coming up this Sunday. Very excited about that and a lot of great things. So please support Mickey Vargas. Please support all the companies and stay tuned, because Saturday night, I think you will be seeing a couple of SSW people. But the good news is they have no issue with you. They may have a few words to say about that guy Ryan Days was on here. So we'll say if that may be a conversation of sorts, and we'll look forward to that. Obviously, shout outs to SSW management. And also, Bam Allen wanted to say you are certainly hustling live on the net. Yes, you are doing that. And thank you, Daniel Tafua. And my friend, congratulations. I will certainly see you soon, and we'll definitely talk off the air after these shows, and especially if you're the X Brand Wrestling champion. I'll give you the physical copies, and we'll certainly, I'm sure, management will take the SSW one. So thank you as always. Safe travels. Keep selling more merchandise, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, brother. See you soon.
All right, that is Mickey Vargas. He is definitely the unkillable. He's the undeniable here. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voice figuratively and literally where all music and all wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportzwire Radio, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be here, I think, maybe tomorrow night. If I'm not here tomorrow night, you have an interview with the band, the OG8s. They have the singer. You'd like to look at the singer, by the way. She was a Las Vegas dancer. She was a dancer, pussycat doll. Yeah. If I showed you the picture, you'd be like, wow. You may be unkillable, but if I show you a photo, I'll show it to you off. You'd be like, wow. So maybe you might have a little more of a soft spot for her. But I'll talk to you about that when we're off the air. But that's what you'll see at 5 o'clock. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sports